Hello everyone, my name is Dr. Nitin Singh. I am MDS in Operative and Endodontics. Today with you all, I'll be discussing how to prepare Class 2 cavity preparation. This Class 2 cavity preparation is very important if we appear for any foreign licensing examination like ADC, NBDE, NDEB. Even it is important when you are appearing for your final BDS examination. So let's start discussing this. So before discussing the preparation, how to prepare a Class 2 cavity preparation, first we need to know what all burrs do we use for preparing a Class 2. So basically we are going to use two burrs for the Class 2 cavity preparation. The first one is burr number 330 and the second one is burr number 245. You can see 330 is a small length burr, whereas 245 is quite a lengthier burr. If we want to exactly know, the length of the 245 burr is 3 millimeter, whereas the length of 330 is 1.6 millimeter. Rest everything about 330 and 245 is same. Both are carbide burr. Both what you can see, the head size, that is what I am talking about, this is how much? It is 0.8 millimeter. So tip size of 245 as well as 330 both is 0.8 millimeter. Fine, and both are made up of carbide burr. Now when we are preparing Class 2 cavity preparation, in that we will be preparing the occlusal portion, proximal portion. We often read that the depth of the occlusal portion is 1.5 to 1.6 mm. How do we come to know? Basically, if half of the 245 burr is inside the cavity, the depth of the cavity will be 1.5, or full 330 burr is inside the cavity, again we will be going to get what? The depth of occlusion 1.6 millimeter. Again what you can see, all the line angles in the burrs, even 245 as well as 330, both are what? Rounded. So we will be going to get all the line angles and point angles to be rounded in the cavity. And what you can see, the tip size of both the burr is 0.8, whereas as we go toward the neck, it is becoming a bit less. So automatically what we will be getting? We will be getting this kind of a thing, occlusally converging cavity, which is what the primary retentive feature. So these two burrs are going to be used for preparing the Class 2. Now in the Class 2 there are two parts. One is the occlusal part of the Class 2 and the second one is the proximal part. First we will be going to discuss about the occlusal portion of the Class 2. For preparing the occlusal portion of the Class 2, what we will be using? We will be using 330. Please remember, the occlusal portion is normally prepared with burr number 330. We can use 245 also, but 330 is a bit better one. So what we will do, we are going to take burr number 330 and we are going to place at a point where the caries is most deep at the particular pit, and we will be going to create what? A punch cut. So we will be preparing a punch cut with the burr number 330, which will be having the depth of what? 1.6 millimeter. Basically, when whole of the burr is what? Inside the cavity, then automatically the punch cut will become 1.6 millimeter. So after preparing the punch cut, we will be what? We will be extending the cavity in this direction and preparing a uniform depth of 1.6 millimeter. Right? And will be encroaching all the pits and the fissure. Now there are 2 points in the occlusal portion. What should be the width, which we call the isthmus? What will be the width of the occlusal cavity? That will be slightly larger than the burr. So the head size of the burr is what? 0.8 millimeter. Slightly larger than will be nearly 0.8 to 1 mm. That is what the isthmus, that is what the width of the occlusal portion. Whereas this is what the width of the occlusal portion, and the depth will be 1.6 millimeter. Now after preparing the occlusal portion, that is what the occlusal portion of the class 2, then we will be going to shift on to prepare the proximal portion, which is what the most important portion. Now before preparing the proximal portion, first we need to know what all the walls. So when we will be preparing the proximal portion, there will be the facial-proximal wall, there will be the lingo-proximal wall, there will be the gingival sheet, there will be the axial wall, right? So now we need to know what will be the dimensions of individual, what will be the width of gingival sheet, right? How much the facial-proximal and the lingo-proximal wall should clear the adjacent width, how much the gingival sheet should clear the adjacent width. So the gingival sheet should clear the adjacent width by how much? By 0.5 millimeter, which is what the tip size of the explorer, and the width of the gingival sheet will be how much? The width of the gingival sheet should be how much? 0.8 millimeter, which is what the tip size of burr number 245 as well as 330 also, if we can say. And the facial proximal and the lingo-proximal wall should clear the adjacent teeth by how much? 0.2 to 0.3 millimeter. So to get this kind of a box, what and how we will be going to prepare. Now what we will do? We are going to take burr number 245 to prepare the proximal portion. Remember, the occlusal portion is prepared with burr number 330, whereas proximal portion will be preparing with the help of burr number 245. Now what we will do, before using this 245, what we will do, we will visualize and do a marking on the tooth with the help of your pencil, and the marking should be like, it should be clearing the adjacent tooth by almost 0.2 to 0.3 millimeter, right? After the marking, now we will take burr number 245 and we are going to put on the marginal ridge, and we are going to go deeper, just below the contact, or wherever we found the caries is what? Deeper. Preserving a bit amount of what? Preserving a bit amount of the wall to prevent the marring of the adjacent teeth. Once we have reached to the depth, then we will extend the cavity buccally and a bit lingually to get the clearance from the adjacent tooth by how much? 0.2 to 0.3. Both facial proximal and lingo proximal wall will be clearing the adjacent tooth by how much? 0.2 to 0.3 millimeter. And what we will see, the whole of the tip of the burr is what is over here, resulting in a gingival sheet of how much? 0.8 millimeter, and the gingival sheet will be clearing the adjacent tooth by how much? 0.5 millimeter. And then what we will do in the end, we will take gingival marginal trimmer. With the help of that, we will be doing the beveling of the gingival margin of how much? 20 degree of bevel, right? And after the beveling of the gingival margin, our class 2 cavity preparation is what? Complete, right? So this is how we prepare our ideal class 2 cavity. For the practical demonstration, please do join me in my next video. In that, I will be demonstrating you whole of this class 2 preparation which I have just told you right now. I will be performing, giving you a demo. Thank you for now. Bye bye.